Bent over rows. We're doing a thing now called old school training, just for lack of a better term. It's because these exercises have been around as long as barbells have existed, and there's a reason for it. And there's a reason that people are still using them. This next exercise is a fantastic back exercise. It works your lower back, it works your trapezius, which is the muscle up here. It works across the rhomboids, the rear deltoids back here. The whole back, latissimus dorsi thing that gives you kind of a V shape, it works it all at one time. Also though, because it is a big and it's a compound movement, it's also working your biceps. So it's another one of those just really efficient workouts. As we've gotten into the current age with all the machines and all of the gadgets, we've kind of missed some of the simple stuff that really did work. And a lot of times you see a lot of people doing isolation exercise. There's a machine for this, a machine for that, where they could get twice as much done in half the time if they go back to the basics. So that's kind of what we're showing you today. This is a bent over row. I'm just going to give you a couple of tips and show you how to do it. Basically, we're doing this with a barbell, just a standard Olympic barbell. I don't have a lot of weight on here. You want your knees bent. You want your back flat. Now, what does that mean? This is a rounded back. If you round your back, you're going to run into problems. If you keep your back flat, that's the difference right there, you're good and safe. You're at about 45 degrees from the floor, and you're going to row it towards, I tell everybody to row it towards their stomach, all right? Kind of in between your chest and your belly button. And you're going to feel that in your entire back. Now, the difference is if you for some reason want your upper back, your shoulders, rhomboid area, more, go a little bit wider and pull more towards your chest. You'll see my elbows going back further. Okay? If your focus is on the lower lat, a little bit closer and pull towards you're really right towards your belly button, like that. And for whatever reason, people that have been doing this for a while, we all have I love that last movement, that last part, to pull it right towards the belly button area. I can feel that from my upper lat all the way down to the lower lat. I just love the way that feels. This exercise is fantastic for helping people with posture. That part where you're pulling your elbows back, you see, young girls are the worst. They do this. I don't know what that's about. All of a sudden, young girls are doing this. Worse than ever. They've always had a habit of it. When you do this, you pull your shoulders back. Stand up straight. It drives me crazy. Men and women, quit slumping. Part of it's that big belly you're toting around is probably pulling you down. But let's start by just pulling your shoulders back. This is a great exercise. Now, this exercise can be done also with dumbbells. Maybe you've got a pair of dumbbells laying around. Maybe you've got some pork and bean cans. It's the same thing. Now, one of the cool things about dumbbells are I can actually go up where the bar would stop me. I can go up higher, so you can get even more of a contraction. You can also change the grip a little bit to a neutral grip. Same thing. Same exact thing. Now, again, I can't reiterate, sometimes I'm repeating myself, but I think it's very important because I see people do the wrong thing so much. I want your back good and flat. Do not round your back during any weight lifting exercise. That's what causes so many people to have spinal problems. And it goes for when you're squatting down to pick up, a rock or your little boy or whatever it might be. Keep that back good and flat. Don't round it. Now, before you start exercising, get checked out by a qualified physician. Make sure you're good and healthy, and then get some instruction. Make sure you're doing it right. And the question is still, are you doing anything? Are you doing something? And if not, Why aren't you?
Jason's Fitness, 24/7 access, one-on-one personal training, supplements and equipment sales. Jason's Fitness, we want your body perfect. Jason's Fitness.
Is that we talk a lot about having a noble spirit here at this school. But the other thing I really want you to think about is, along with the noble spirit, if you have a healthy body and a healthy mind and you focus your life on the right things, you not only have a noble spirit, but you can also have a cheerful spirit. You know, life is meant to be enjoyed. And those of you, if you make the right decisions in life, you take care of your obligations first, then you'll be surprised just how much joy you can find in life. So as we go through this presentation today, our presenter is someone who is as fine an example of this as anyone I've ever seen. He truly has not just a noble spirit, but a cheerful spirit, a loving and kind heart. And I think that has a lot to do with his physical condition, the fact that he feels good, and he's a wonderful example for us in that regard. So I'll turn the program over to Mr. Barber.
Thank you, Dr. Havard. Once again, we had the opportunity to have Jason Green come and speak to us. Many of you last year, I know we had several class events. You weren't able to be here. We actually had grades 4 through 8 last year. But it's an honor for me to have Jason to come and speak with you. He is a parent. He's had one son that's graduating, he has one that's in the 6th grade now, so he understands who the school is, what the school is about, and he certainly has your best interest in mind. So I would ask now that you give Jason Green a warm good Miss Wright welcome.
Yes. 12 years later, he's still got silver shoes. Give it up for another warm welcome for the silver shoes. And yet something's been added. First of all, I want to point out these pants. My wife brought these pants home. These are Ralph Lauren pants. Before I get into the meat of this thing, I just like to say, what drug was Ralph Lauren on when he designed these pants? I've been playing with these pants today because I'm like that. I'll play with them. And what does that do? You know what I'm saying? That does nothing. It doesn't do anything. I'm thinking somebody needs to get Ralph off the pipe. I'm just, wasn't Ralph's conservative? Wasn't he the upper? I know they were on sale. She wouldn't have bought them. I know. But what does this do? I don't know. Anyway, but the silver shoes were, of course, my choice. And the belt buckle. This is the love of superheroes and schizophrenia to go with it. That's right, that's Superman and Batman for the guy who can't make up his mind. I'm Batman, I'm Superman, I'm Batman. We're both of those, okay.
I'm Jason Green, and I would like to congratulate the winners of the Jason's Health and Fitness Achievement Award. UMS Wright School 2008, 6th grade, Lauren Cave and Hunter Wood. 7th grade, Ramsey Cowart and Sam Pike. 8th grade, Charlotte Galloway and Hunter Seal. This is
Nutrition Corner, talk about what to put in you, put on you. Don't start laughing this soon. We should call the next couple of segments for old people. This is what we should call this. Because used to, this product we've got is called Gotta Digest. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about Gotta Digest. And we used to talk about it because it helps bodybuilders and athletes digest more protein to make big muscles. And that's all I could think about, right? And today I'm going to talk about, do you feel fat and bloated and you don't digest your food properly because you're old? Me too, boys and girls. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what this product does. It's called Gotta Digest. This is what I call, we have several of these products. Matter of fact, I'm fixing to film another segment called Gotta Sleep, and I call it kitchen sink products. And if you're older enough, if you're like me, you know that they put everything in there but the kitchen sink. That's an old saying, boys and girls, and that's why I call it kitchen sink. I'm going to scroll underneath me somewhere the ingredients because there's lots of them. But I'm going to read just a tad of this. I mean, it's got all these A's in it. Okay, because it's got amylase and bromelain and cellulase and hemicellulase and lactase. We put everything in a product that we know helps digest food. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown while that's scrolling. I'll put on these. I printed this in huge, like 24, and I still can't see it hardly. It's one of the most complete on the market. Guide to Digest is formulated with a diverse range of 18 different enzymes to help ensure proper digestion with each meal, regardless of the food groups. So that's why there's so many different kinds. Different enzymes digest different proteins, okay? Each enzyme has a role to play that ultimately can help the body better absorb nutrients from food and supplements. So let me tell you that. So what's the point of it? It is to keep you from feeling bloated and gross. But a lot of people are eating tons of protein, especially bodybuilders and athletes. Even I, at this age, am trying to get in a bunch of protein because if you'll read, you can Google this, the older you get, you don't assimilate protein as well, right? And protein isn't just for muscles and hair and skin and all that. It also helps keep your immune system up and a lot of other cool things that really matters as you get older. So you're taking in all this protein, but you're not digesting it properly. And that can lead to some other illnesses and so forth. And it can also just be a waste of money. You're taking all this expensive stuff called protein in and you're not digesting it. So this is a product that helps to digest it. Amylase is an enzyme that helps the body digest starch. It's integral to the breakdown of refined carbohydrates, potatoes, and other starchy foods. Proteins breaks down the peptide bonds that join the amino acids in a protein, ensuring the amino acids are readily available to the body. The enzyme lipase splits apart emulsified fats. All right, lactase digests milk sugars, and so on. Now, like I said, I'm not going to bore you with all this. It's on the website, and I'm going to scroll it. But that's what Got to Digest is. And I always forget to tell y'all this. How much is this product, Jason? That's a really good thing to know. It's only $10.95, and for $10.95 you get 60 capsules. You take 1 to 2 with meals. We've got this set up on our website, and it's and you walk in the stores in Mobile and Foley and you get the same deal. If you buy 3 of any of our products, you get 20% off. And so we've got a lot of things. We could have went with a bigger bottle, but instead I thought we'll keep it fresher. You buy 3 of these, you get 20% off, and it comes out just as cheap as if we were selling you a bigger bottle. That was the logic there. I hope it makes sense to you, because when I say it out loud in front of the camera, it still makes sense to me. So that's important. So that's Got to Digest. It's great for athletes, but also for old people who don't digest like they used to. I'm glad you agreed with that last part, Pam.
A lot of you probably already know what a bench press is. You've seen it 100 times. Why do we do a bench press? Bench press is for men and women, boys, girls of all ages. It works your chest muscles, it works the front part of the shoulder, and it also works the tricep. It's called a compound movement. Compound movements are very important because it allows you to work a lot of muscle groups very quickly. There's a reason that the bench press has been around so long and been so popular for so many people. It really does work very well. It's very good for sports activities. You can imagine anything where you have to shove somebody, that would be a plus, but it does build the entire upper body, and if you're short on time, you can get a lot of work done by doing compound movements. I'm gonna show you a couple of things to point out about the bench press, and I'm really not talking to, if you're an advanced bodybuilder or you're a weightlifter, you can just kind of flip channels right now because you're not gonna get much out of this. But that's not really who we're talking to. We're talking to the people that have never done anything and are curious, and maybe you're fixing to come into the club and you want to have a little knowledge so that you don't feel out of place. That's who I'm talking to right now. So this is a bench press. They're pretty standard. I always have a little rack on the back, and I'm using some very lightweight, even for me, even for the old man, so that I can talk a little bit while I'm showing you. One of the things you want to do is you want your grip wider than your shoulders,
If you get too close, you start working too much tricep and not enough chest and shoulders. You unrack the bar. Usually you always want a spotter on this exercise. I'm not using enough weight, and if I get stuck, the camera people will pull it off of me. You're going to come down to your lower chest and stop right before you touch your chest. Now this is something that may be a shock to some people, because you'll see some guys in the weight room and they'll bounce it off of their chest. Well, we don't do that here. Not when we're teaching the correct form. Now, if you were a powerlifter and you're in competition, they make you hold it on your chest. But I want to point out something. When you're doing bench press, a lot of people have shoulder problems because of bench press, because when they touch their chest, they're really putting their shoulder girdle in a bind, and it can lead to a lot of rotator cuff problems. So what you're going to do is, what I recommend to people, especially if you're never going to be tested in the bench press, come down to where your arm is parallel to the floor and then back up. Now on me, that's going to be like this. See how far the bar is from my chest? And then back up. Now, what I do, because I am an old power lifter, every now and then I just have to touch my chest to make sure I've still got that. But I think that everybody gets all the muscle benefit by stopping, and maybe even more. Now what happens on that is you're going to do sets of 3 or 4 sets. Ladies will sometimes do as many as 15 repetitions. Really and truly, your muscles are the same as everybody's. We want you to build the muscle tissue. You're not going to get big brawny muscles. You don't have the testosterone to do that. You're just going to get firmer and toned. And guys, your rep range, depending on your goals, is going to range somewhere between 6 to 12. After you bring the bar down till it's almost touching your chest and you extend it up, one of the things that you should know is if you're an athlete and you're training for athletics, you should do so explosively. In other words, you should bring down the bar slow and controlled manner and then explode up. If you're just trying to gain muscle, tighten up, firm up, it's a very moderate speed. It's 2 seconds down, 2 to 4 seconds back up. You know, it's just a nice cadence, kind of like you used to do when you were in elementary school doing push-ups. Nutrition Corner. Da, 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 da. Today, we're talking about Jazam, updating Jazam. I shouldn't say talking about, we're updating it. I've got all these scripts laying around. Jazam's a top selling product, has been for years here at Jason's Fitness. That's what it looks like. There's a zoom in for you. I used to just do this very generic-y thing, and now try to talk about one ingredient at a time so it doesn't get as overwhelming. But the broad swipe is, it is a herbal enhancement formula for men and women. And when I say herbal enhancement, sexually, performance, working out, some ingredients help you to lose weight, help promote growth hormone release, help testosterone release. So it's that in broad strokes. Now I'm going to take this one ingredient and talk about it a little bit. It's called maca. And it grows in the mountains of Peru. It regulates the hormonal system such as the pituitary, the adrenal glands, the pancreas, etc. It balances the production of hormones like testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. See, we used to just call this an herbal enhancement formula for men, and women used to go, when you go do one for us? And when I started doing segments very specific and doing research on each individual ingredient, I suddenly come to the realization it's probably as good, if not better, for women as for men. So now the label says herbally enhanced human, which I thought was very politically correct at the time. That, you know, it's just like the timing was just spot on. A lot of times I'm too ahead of myself, in business. A lot of times I'm too late, whatever. I'm only human. Find yourself depending on coffee for a boost in the morning. Why not try maca instead? Why not try maca instead? Maca, however, unlike coffee, offers energy in a non-caffeinated way that supports the body. Maca is a nutritionally dense superfood that contains high amounts of minerals, vitamins, enzymes, and all of the essential amino acids. I realize when I start talking about these products, these ingredients in this one product, Jazam, that each ingredient sounds like I'm some psycho that made this junk up. It does. Like if it was 28 years ago, before you all had Google and you saw me, you go, this guy is a freaking charlatan. But you can go Google maca and read up on it too. Maca helps balance out hormones. It helps the pituitary gland. Hormones regulate many things, including mood, growth, sexual development, tissue function. Maca root has been shown to be beneficial for all sorts of hormonal problems, including PMS, menopause, and hot flashes. Maca is also a fertility. I've had a pretty good day in here today. It's really the first fumble, so I'm going to let myself have that one today. Maca is also a fertility enhancer and is best known for improving libido and sexual function, especially in men. For this reason, it's earned the nickname Nature's Viagra. Aren't you glad your name's Bobby instead of Nature's Viagra? If you're going to have a nickname, I don't know, I've had a lot of them in my life. J Bird, J Mo. I'll take those over Nature's Viagra every time. He's running at the camera.
Jump. I'm sure that's illegal in some states.
Not this one. That brings me up on a point. Still people ask me, women will come up to me and say, well, I can't lift weights. I don't want to get big old muscles. Ladies, you're making me crazy. We've been on TV talking about this for 18, 19 years, and it's in all of your women's magazines. I don't know, if Madonna can't convince you and Oprah Winfrey can't convince you, I don't know what I'm going to do. But you don't have the hormone levels to get big, hairy muscles. It's just not going to happen. Now, I know that every now and then, you ladies, you see somebody on TV that looks like a guy with a wig on in some national or international bodybuilding contest. Well, ladies, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And if she sounds like a man and looks like a man, got news for you. She's getting real close to being a man. And it wasn't natural, and it wasn't the weightlifting that caused it, okay? That's testosterone. That's anabolic steroids. Working out with weights for women simply makes you more toned and more beautiful. And I don't know why I'm having to say it, because every time I pick up one of my wife's magazines, it's right there. It's on every page. It doesn't matter if it's Vogue or if it's a Glamour or Better Housekeeping. Weight training increases bone density. It makes you feel better and younger. And the one side effect that women don't ever consider is strength. There's something very empowering about being able to reach down and grab a bag of groceries with one hand and feel like that's no big deal. Now, women don't think they need that, but trust me, it matters. And to your health, it matters dramatically, especially as you get older. Things like bone density, your posture. I see women bent over. It doesn't have to be that way. Quite simply, it doesn't have to be that way. So if you've never tried it before, here's a challenge for you. Try it. Try weightlifting. If you start out with pork and bean cans at home, or do whatever you want to, or come to Jason's Fitness and let us teach you how to lift weights. We have more women at Jason's Fitness than we do men. So a lot of you women have gotten it, and you are getting it, but not enough, because I still hear people, and what's worse is I hear guys, I hear grown men who are walking upright with 2 feet say to me, well, I don't want my wife to get big old muscles. Come on, people. It's 2007, fixing to be 08. You've got to have a better clue than that. Okay? So I challenge you, try it. You're going to look and feel better than you have in years. I promise.
Jason's Fitness, 24/7 access, one-on-one personal training, supplements and equipment sales. Jason's Fitness, we want your body perfect.
We want your body perfect.
Want it, want it.